Hello, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Testing. Yeah, I think it's working. Very good. Okay, so waiting. I can see three watching already. That's great. Okay, still we have a few minutes. Just if you are online already, those three of you who are online, could you please go to menti.com. Just open another tab. So you're viewing the live streaming on one tab. Open another tab on your browser and then type menti.com. Just menti.com. You get there, then you need this number 6 and start. Very good. I can see some good feedback. It's good output. That's great. There are 9 there. I didn't expect that many people to come on Saturday at 9 in the morning, but I really appreciate that you coming online. And then I think we'll have a great session. And then we will repeat it many times. In my opinion, repeating those training sessions will help, because every time we will find a way to improve it, and also people who come, they can learn new things and spread it to everyone. It's easy thing to do with MS Teams, but you need a quick start, just someone to push it a little bit faster. Now, if you want to see me, I can make you see me. If I can do this. Now I'm using a special software to do this with streaming, which it's not important for you now, but let's wait for people to come, and then we will start sharp at 9. So this is me. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for coming to the web streaming. Now, there are two things. Is your expectation is one thing, but there is also another question here where you can start adding your questions. While we're going through the explanation, you will find some questions or things need to be clarified. We'll clarify it. And then when we go together in one team account, actual team, then we can start looking at things more hands-on. Okay, so that screen is there, and maybe I'll keep it for just a few minutes. Now let's move to the session. I think we should start. Good, we have 11 people here. This is great. So good morning again and welcome. This is the outline. We'll just give quick introduction about Microsoft Office. By the way, you can add your questions either to the YouTube live there, or you add it to the menti.com, which I mentioned. I'll bring it from time to time on the screen so people can find the address. Then we will speak about general guidelines. These are general, still we're discussing it and learning from others and making some modifications. So I'm sure you can contribute to those guidelines by giving some ideas, and that can help. How we can engage student on a web streaming or live session. With Microsoft Teams, you're not going to do a web streaming like what I'm doing now. The reason I'm doing it this way, because I want you to see my screen from the teacher point of view. If we go into Teams, you will not see it from the teacher point of view. You'll see it as a student. So I want you to see it from student point of view. I did the web streaming. So while we're doing a lecture online through Teams, how we can engage our student. Some technique that we need to look at it, some ideas again here, and you will have more from your experience. And then how we can utilize our lecture time. Are we going to do the 3 hours live, or we will have sort of blended distance learning where we can push some videos to the student or material to the student, and then we use the class time to do more discussion and working on examples and real life scenarios. That's something we will be discussing. And then we'll take you through the Microsoft Teams, from creating classes to registering students to having video call and managing the video call, troubleshooting some of the video and audio, and screen sharing, and then we'll go to the next. So I divided this one into two parts. The first one is this live streaming, which we're talking about it now. And the second half is I'll send you a link to actual Microsoft Teams. So you join me in the Teams, and then we can start practicing it as student, faculty. I'll give you the role of the faculty, I'll give you the role of the student, and we'll play it together and see how we can make the best of it. So Microsoft Teams is available on all devices. You can download it on your phone, iOS or Android, or any device. To connect to it, you need to use your email and password, Abu Dhabi University email and password, because we have a subscription for the whole system. So that way you will be able to log into Microsoft Teams. Okay, just a second, there's something here. Okay, let me just remove myself, maybe you don't need to see me. Okay, so what can I do with Microsoft Teams? Look at it from three angles. One, it's a file management, which same thing like Office 365. You can share files, you can work together with your student and files. And this part, in my opinion, is not the most important, because this is, we already have it in Office 365 and we work on it. But for faculty, it's a tool that can engage, inspire, and update, keep your student updated. And you can also mention them, send specific communication to specific student, and you can deliver live classes with video, audio, and other components. For the student, they can access the teaching material. Again, they can participate in groups. They can create their own group. If they have a project they're working on it, they can create their own team and connect from home, especially now with the situation we are in. They can connect from home and work together, open a Word file and work together on that document, or do a presentation, or write a software, or do a design, so they can collaborate. And it's important we emphasize in our delivery that students should utilize Microsoft Teams and not just waiting for us to come and present to them. They can use it for many things. Okay, sorry. Before starting the live session, these are a few guidelines that we need to make sure we have it in place. One is a mistake I have now, my phone is ringing. So you need to put your phone on silent, and you need to sit in a quiet place. Most time we are, as a faculty, will be streaming from the campus, from our offices, then that will be fine. But if you one day want to stream from home or from anywhere else, make sure the place is quiet so you don't create too much noise. Make sure that you are connected to a fast Wi-Fi. It has to be the connection, or Wi-Fi is very important. So we need to make sure we are connected to a reliable and fast Wi-Fi. Coming closer to the Wi-Fi access point is very important, because that can increase the strength of the signal. Mobile packages, at the moment, I do not encourage that connecting through mobile package. I'm not saying not through mobile. You can connect through mobile and watch the Microsoft Teams if you are on a Wi-Fi. But if you are on the mobile data package, you may have issue with that, because currently I think Salat and Dua are not giving it priority on the traffic. I'm sure with this situation they might change that one, but for the time being, don't use the data. And again, it's expensive. If you run it through a Wi-Fi, it's more reasonable. It's important, I think, you close all applications. One is you just improve your computer performance, and the other thing, maybe there are things you don't want your student to see. You don't want to open and they see an email from you to XYZ, which you don't want it to be on the screen. So those you do not using application, just close them and focus only on the things you want to show your student, like your PowerPoint presentation or your files, software, whatever is needed. The background of your computer is important. You don't want your student to see a background that really maybe a family pictures or something that you don't want them to see it. Or it's not appropriate for them to see it. So make sure you change the background of your computer and make sure it's an appropriate one. Important to test the audio and video. We will do a test later and show you where you can test the audio and video and make sure they are right. There are only few situations where you will have problem with the audio. Sometimes your audio is connected to external microphone that is switched off and people not hearing you because it's switched off, or connected to a docking station that has internal microphone which not working. I think just remove all other connections and just stay with your laptop or computers to avoid getting through those things. We'll do some troubleshooting to show how we can fix it. If you feel I'm going a little bit fast, just alert me in the menti.com, which again we will bring it back. This is menti.com, so you need to go to www.menti.com and then you enter the numbers. I'll go back. I'm using Mac. Maybe your screen will be a little bit different, but that's Mac and Windows getting now very closer. Okay. After testing your video, again, you have to have some rules to explain to your student. When you start your live streaming, you want to tell them what they need to do. For example, one of important practices, if you have a large number of students, is you tell them to mute their microphone. Muting their microphone at the beginning, and later, when they need to talk, they can unmute and talk. You can explain how you're going to run the class. Maybe you allow questions while you are explaining, or you will give specific time for questions. Things related that they should adhere to privacy and should not be talking without allowing them to have that. Things like that appropriate for your class. You do it. Maybe you have specific scenario or sequence you're going through in your class, and you want them to know that one and follow it the way you want it to be. Now we prepared, you're ready, you have your presentation, you have everything is in place, or your lesson ready. It doesn't have to be PowerPoint presentation, can be any document. We will look at different scenarios that people will use PowerPoint, people will use software demonstrate, they will be writing on a whiteboard, and a different method. We'll talk about it in a few minutes. But now during the session, you need to inform your student with these rules, rules, R-U-L-E-S, that you want them to follow. And then when you talk, you have to be clear, you have to be with right volume and speed, closer to the microphone. It's important. Now, if you're writing on a whiteboard, you maybe need a wireless microphone, and we're working on finding a way to get you some wireless microphones. I can maybe show you one example here of a wireless microphone, which I'm not using now because of, let me switch screen. Here is where the camera. Here are two. One you plug it to your laptop, this one, and the other one you just wear it and you can walk around and it will capture your. We will try to provide those for those people who need it when they need it. Okay, staying closer to the microphone. Then when you share your screen, this is an issue that some faculty goes through. Sometimes they share just a single application on the screen, like only the PowerPoint. And while they explaining to the student, they switch to another application. The student cannot see the other application. They will continue seeing the first application. But if you share the whole desktop, whatever you open on your computer, the student will see it. There's only one disadvantage of that one. If you still have some application or documents open on screen and you don't want student to see. And this is why it's important you close all those applications you don't need and focus only on what you need. If you share the whole desktop, it becomes easier for you and you don't need to remember that, oh, I'm sharing only this application. And my advice, sharing the full desktop is better. Student will be asking questions either by voice or by chat. A good practice, in my opinion, if student has a question, put it in the chat. You look at the chat and you can then say, oh, Ahmad, could you please explain what you want from this question? If there is a need for explanation or he is giving comments rather than a question. You can allow them, if you're a small group, you can allow them just to ask by voice. If it's a big, you need a mechanism, which the chat is one way of doing that. Encourage the student to use the chat, as I said, and you should review it from time to time. While you are on the live and people asking questions and you're not paying attention to it, then that's not appropriate. And I can see have some on the YouTube. Good question. There's nothing, no questions. There are most comments. There's one question. Do we need to sign up for Mentimeters? Mentimeters is one example I'm using. It allows you free to use for 3 questions. Well, for me, 2 questions are enough. One, getting expectation of the student from that class, and the other one to allow them to add any question they want to need to enter. You can, but you don't need. The Teams has the chat. I'm doing it here because I'm on a live streaming. I don't have that capability. But when we go later together in Teams and run the actual Teams, then you can use the chat. So Menti is not really necessary for you to use with your student. The chat will do that. Okay, back to where we are. So we need to encourage students to use the chat, which is important. You can record the meeting if you prefer. Some faculty didn't like to record it. You might be worried to make a mistake. For me, I always record it because if I'm making a mistake in front of my student, it's okay for me if I do it. Otherwise, I should not make a mistake as much as I can do. But if once I pronounced one word wrong, that's not really a big issue in my opinion. Then it's up to you. If you want to record it, you record it. So your students are looking for the benefit from your recording. They're not looking at other things and how you look like. And I think they're looking for the knowledge and experience they gain from your recording. For me, recording is important, but it's up to you. Maybe students do not want it to be recorded, or maybe there are other situations. But recording is there. When you record it, it goes into Teams and student can access it anytime. Of course, you can delay publishing it until you edit it and remove any components that you don't want to see. Yes, once the lecture is recorded, it can be used, and we'll come later to different method of delivering distance learning. And one of it is using pre-recorded videos, and that can be really useful. At the end, you need to stop sharing screen. Not at the end, every time, from time to time, you stop sharing screen, you show your face to your student, you talk to them, so they feel you are connected to them. You're not just online somewhere and they don't know. They don't feel that you are really talking to them. So from time to time, stop sharing screen and talk to them directly, ask them questions, do some maybe comments on what you discussed, and allow some of the students maybe to speak and show their work to the rest of the class if that is needed. Okay, so at the end you need to summarize the different ways. Maybe you can put a slide summarizing everything, or maybe you start asking your student questions. And I prefer this one: ask them questions and reflect on their questions, and then in that way you create a sort of a summary of your class. Yes, I can see a question here. If you record it, can we use it for other sections? Absolutely you can. You can link it to your Blackboard and your student can see it. All of them can see it. That's one way. The other way, Microsoft Teams work with another software from Office 365 called Stream. Stream is directly connected to then if you record it, you can just upload it to Stream, and then the whole community in Abu Dhabi University can access it if you want, or you can just make it to specific group. By linking it to Blackboard may be the best way. One point I would like to make before moving further on the engagement of the student, just came to my mind while I'm preparing for this session. I think we should try, or we should avoid having Microsoft Teams to replace Blackboard. Blackboard is the learning management system. So your quizzes, your assessment, your discussion, your teaching materials can stay in Blackboard, and we have Blackboard. And then you link Team and use Team for video call or for student to work together from home, and that will be, I think it's more efficient and will reduce the learning curve on you as a faculty as well. You don't need to get all the details of Microsoft Teams, and we'll utilize our Blackboard. We're paying huge money to Blackboard every year, so we have to really make use of it, and it's the right place for learning management system. So Teams, you can do quizzes and assignment, but you can do it far better than this in Blackboard, and Blackboard is equipped to do quizzes there. So leave Blackboard is the main. So students go to the Blackboard. You maybe add a link to your Teams from Blackboard. They click on it when there is a live lectures, and they join the Microsoft Teams, and you start delivering your lectures. If there is a quiz, they go and do it in Blackboard. Assignment, they go and submit it in Blackboard. Of course, they can work on the files and document in Microsoft Teams to prepare their submission and then submit it to the Blackboard. So I would prefer this way. Yes, there is no Arabic version, Dr. Hani, and I'll work on one. I will translate this one, not that much text in it. Later you will see just only the few slides at the beginning. So I will work on it and create an Arabic version. I know we have some students faculty who are in the Arabic programs, and we should make sure that we have also the Arabic version of it. So I'll do that one hopefully tonight. Okay, so these are the way to engage student. Creating an engaging and amazing and interactive presentation is one method to do. That has to be there. You cannot just come with any presentation and expect the student will listen to us. If you come with the one full of text, no images, things like that, they will not be that much engaged. In my opinion, and that what I do, utilizing the smartphone. Phones are in the hand of our student, and they will keep looking at the phones while you explaining, and we know that. So making use of the phone and making it a tool for learning, like using Kahoot, for example, or Menti.com. Kahoot, will show you an example of using Kahoot. The good thing with Kahoot, you can post questions on the screen, student can answer it, and you can see who is gave the right answer and who was faster than others. So they get points and rated on the screen, and they feel engaged because they feel there's a competition. And those questions can be very specific, related to your lesson, that helps student reinforce the learning and do that. there is a limit to what you can do with Kahoot. Like anything in this life has a limit, but you can use the maximum of Kahoot, and you try to utilize it. If you want to look for a tool that does everything, you will not find. You need, or it will become very complicated to use as well. Now, provide students with the opportunity to show their work. So from time to time, I said we stop sharing, ask students to show. If I'm teaching programming, that's where I do most of the time. I will pause some time and say, show me how you did this one. And he will put it on the screen. Other students will be able also to see it and work on it. And that will encourage the student. Making more social connections, the appropriate one with the student, and calling them with their names if your class is really not too big, will make you always connected with your student. And asking their expectation from a lesson is, I think, is important. Now this slide is the last one, maybe here on the text, which talk about different type of lectures or classes we need to run. So if you have a presentation, like the one I'm doing now at the moment, then that's very simple. You create nice presentation, you put some questions in between the slides to engage students, and you pause from time to time, and you do that. It will be great. It will not have that big issue. But if you would demonstrate the software as well, it's easy. We will do it in the second half of this one. We'll start looking at the software. It's easy. You can show the software. But the challenge comes in this one when the student wanted to show his work. He is having an issue, as I said, programming, and student make silly mistake. A semicolon is missing, or variable name is not declared, or something like that, and then they get stuck. So how you do that? If you do it live, sometimes it becomes a little bit complicated if the class is too big. If it's small, it's fine. You can allow students to share screen. You go and show him. He will learn. Others will learn as well from his mistake, and then you continue. But if you have a large, maybe you divide your class into two parts. One, you explain the concept, you show them examples, you demonstrate the software yourself, and then break them into smaller group with the teaching assistant, doing again live streaming with the student, and going through practical. They do their work and show you the feedback. These are just some of the ideas to do with something like this. Like, I think most programming courses, IT courses will go this, some engineering when you're doing AutoCAD and stuff like that, or some engineering software you're using, that can be. The third one is a discussion, when you want just to discuss with the whole group and talk to them. Again, smaller classes, easy to do. You can just get everyone the chance to ask the questions. They just raise their hand or write in the chat, I have a question, and then you say, Ahmed, please, what's your questions, and what's your feedback, what's your comment, and you start discussing. But if the group is large, it becomes difficult. So one method is to create a panel discussion. Say I have 4 students now, I'll get X, Y, Z on the panel. Those who will be discussing the issue, and the others will raise questions. So they write in the chat, I have questions, you allow them or write the questions, and you as a moderator or another student as the moderator will go and moderate it. So they will get that format. If we need to do this, maybe there are maybe one or few courses that will require such a discussion with the whole class in the room, then this is one can be done. Yeah, I can see a question here. Can you record the presentation and share? Yes, it's live streamed and it will be recorded by YouTube, and then I'll just make few edits and make it available to everyone. I'm going to repeat it again because I feel when you repeat it live, people feel more engaged. Anyway, but it will be there for sure. Now back to this one. The last one with little bit more challenging when you solving mathematics, math courses or engineering or finance, accounting. They will be solving problems on the whiteboard and doing that. So how we can do it? There are different ways you can do it. One way is you just have external camera pointing to the whiteboard, and you have the wireless microphone, as I said, and you start explaining, and it will capture that one and come on the student screen. That's one. The other one, those who more like technology, they can use an iPad with note software on it, and they can explain things on the iPad with a pen. If you have a touch screen, like people having Surface Pro or having a laptop that are touch screen, I think most our laptops now in Abu Dhabi University are touch screen. So you can actually write on the screen itself. And Microsoft Teams has a utility called Whiteboard. You just open it and write on that whiteboard. If you don't want to use whiteboard, you can open any application and share it to your student and start writing on that. And the last one that we can maybe use is you can prepare a PowerPoint presentation that takes them through the steps of solving that problem. And you can present it to the student. You don't have to handwrite it. I know some teacher will say when you write things, it connects to your brain. Maybe that's correct, and I think it's correct. But again, sometimes we cannot do everything we wanted to do. Okay, so last one I'm jumping to now. I can see the question here. If the teacher will use presentation and board explanation at the same time, what will be this? Okay, that can be done. Again, you can do both. Can do the recording the screen on the video, and can has also the presentation, but it will require from him just to come to the computer and switch between the two from time to time, and that's what he needs to do. Okay, so now utilizing class time. I will come back to other questions in a minute. As I said before, you have 3 credit hours. Are you going to do all the 3 credit hours live video to the student? I think this maybe need to be discussed at a different level with different group. But in my opinion, streaming for 3 hours will maybe not be the right thing. Or running a class through video conference, through Teams for 3 hours, student will feel bored of it, and they might not enjoy it. But if you prefer, if you prefer that method, then you need to create smaller chunks of that lecture. So you divide it into smaller parts, and after each part you put some activities. So you ask questions, you get students to demonstrate their work, and you look at other way to engage the students instead of running all 3 hours. So you have 3 hours, make every half an hour focus on one thing, then sit, discuss it, or do an activity, give them maybe a few minutes of a break, and then continue that way. The other method, which I think will work as well and which will be more effective, in my opinion, is to pre-record your class. You record it first in a video, like today we did this one. Now I already have the video, so I can just, the next group, send them the video, they watch the video. And when they come later, we will do the hands-on and practical component, or do a discussion, or look at examples, go in more depth of what in the video, and give them more time to reflect, to understand, to use the tools. Now this will require more planning and from the faculty. If you just send them the video and they come and you have no idea what exactly you want to do, then you will have an issue with utilizing your class time. Just a second. Sorry, I am back. So I think dividing your class into two parts. One is you send a video to the student, the other one you create a discussion, will be more effective, but it requires you to plan for the second part. Plan properly for it to engage your student and make them ready. Recording the full lectures at the first time will be useful because it will create for you the material that you will use for the second part. Good. Okay, great. Now coming to Microsoft Teams. Okay, so you need to download first Microsoft Teams. I think most of you already have Microsoft Teams in your computer, but if you go to http teams.microsoft.com to download, then you will find a link there. Here, you click on download, it will start downloading it. But if you have a specific machine, like you're running a specific machine and you want to take a specific version of that, you can scroll down, you'll find the list of different type of distributions or machines, Mac, Windows 32, Android, and then you select the right one. Most browser will detect your machine and will download for you the right one. So click on download, that's one thing. It takes a long time to download. So be prepared that it's not going just to come in a few minutes because it's a big application. That's one way. The other way, you can go to our Office 365, if you know how to do that, through our portal, and then you will find Office 365, you will find many tools, and you will be able to download it. Once you download it, let's look at a demo. Now, I'm doing this demo here in a different way. I'm not running the actual application because we'll do it together later. I'm doing it this way, which I think will be more effective. I'll show you now the application as soon as I finish this one, and we will do it on the application as well. So first thing, when you open it, you get a window like this. Your window will not be exactly like this. I have so many teams I'm member of, or I created. So I created so many teams. I'm using it for our operation as well. So you will not get all this list. You will get one or few or maybe nothing there. Here on this side, these are the tools that will help you. One is the activity. The activity is an alert where if someone uploaded a file or created a discussion, you will get an alert in this place. So you'll get a number, red 5 means there are 5 activities. You click on it, you start getting into that activities. The chat is where people will also chat with you one-to-one or a group. So if someone chatted with you, started talking to you, then you will see it there. We will see a real example of that one. Teams are where you have your teams. Now I'm on Teams, so you can see all my teams are appearing here. Assignment, where your student, if you created your team as a class, you will have assignment. Otherwise, you will not have assignment there. There are different ways of creating teams. We will look at it in a few minutes. Now, that's assignment means student can upload the assignment and do the thing similar to Blackboard. Exactly. Calendar, good thing if your way of working is opening team every morning, which in my situation, my team application is always on. So my calendar, which in Outlook, I find it here. So I don't want to go to Outlook to find my calendar, I'll find it here. And your student will be able to see the calendar here as well of Outlook. You can see your calendar. Here, the calls you made in the past, you can go and find them here. And here you'll find all the files related to this team account. Okay, so we'll start. If you want to create a team, we start by team. Yeah, I'm sure you asked this question. Are we going to create our own classes, or these classes will be created for us? We're still discussing that one and debating it. Okay, I think we will decide tomorrow or on Sunday. We will be a final. But if you want to create your own one, and just look at it this way. You click on Teams, and then the second one, you see this one, join or create a team. This one you can use it to join a team that you invited to join through a link, or you create a new team. Then let's click on join or create. Once you do that, you get these two windows. You can see this one is for creating a team, and this one for joining a team. One way to do, if you create your team and they generate a number, you can send the number to your student by email. They can come here, click on Teams, and enter the number here. Then they'll join your class. So instead of you registering them one by one, you give them a code. They will come and enter it here, and then they will be able to join. Now we're going to focus on create. So here what we will do, click on create. When you click on create, you get those 4 types of teams. The one we will use is class, but also we can use a community. Like you are a group of teachers teaching X course. You can create a community for you, and you can exchange teaching material, you can discuss plans, you can work on different things. So it's a more a community type, but this is not the one we are for. We want to create a class. Also there is a staff, and there are other for different tools like student clubs and other things you can do. So let's focus on a class. So we'll click on class, you get this window. In this window you need to enter a title for your team or your course, and what I would prefer, use the course code and the full course title. I just put a number here, CLO2301. I think Dr. Han, you can tell me what course, if there is a course with this code. And then you can write that full title of the course. So this way you have your course name properly. You can have the description. You can copy it from the course outline or the syllabi and put it here if you need to do that. But the description is optional. Once you do that, so you need basically the title of the course, then you just click on next, and then you go through. Now we created the course. Now we need to add members. We need to add members, student. So you come to this window, allow you to add student or add teachers. Basically you need a student ID, and then his name will appear, you add it, and then you continue adding it. The same thing for the teachers. You just add, you will be by default the teachers, but if there are other teachers you want them to be part, or other faculty want him to be part of this course, you can add him here. So you can have multiple, or teaching assistant, you want to add him, you can add the teaching assistant. Once done, this one will convert to OK, then you click on it. By the way, adding users is optional. You can, because you can do it later. So you can skip the whole process if you don't want to add anything. But if you add just maybe teachers here, will be maybe easier if you have them. Now, once you add it, you get in a window like this. Now, this is your team. We are now in CLO2301, and you can see we have something called general here. The general is a channel. Channel is where you can have a combination of discussions. You can write some discussion here, and the team will see it, and it will appear in this window. Or you can upload files to that channel, so they will be all related. And then you can have something called class. This is OneNote, which is amazing, but it will take a long time to explain it. I think just will skip it. Then you do assignment and you do grades. Yeah? So the files is the most used files, and posts, they will be used here, because the posts you can keep your student engaged, informed, updated, and things like that through using that discussion. Now you can create more channels, and I have seen some saying, okay, we need to create a channel called labs. We need to create a channel called assessment. Of course, you can create as much as channels you need to do there. Down here you will find those icons. I think you will not have all icons. You will have maybe the first maybe the first 7 or 8, because I added those icons, customized them. There's a way you add them. When you write a text here, you just write it as you want. You hit enter, it will be sent. But if you want to format it and make it looks better, you click on this one. This one will open for you like a Word file. You write the message properly, and then you send it to the student. You can change the font, you highlight it, you add some link to it, whatever. This one for adding a link, this one just to express your feeling. Here you're adding a GIF file. The one important is this one we'll use later. This is where you create a live video call and you start doing the presentation. Okay, so here there is also 3 dots. The 3 dots gives you more options. When you click on it, you get this. And now you can manage your team. Remember I said maybe you don't need to enter the teams when you create your teams, the members. You can do it later. You can skip that step and do it later. Here is the place where you can go and add the members. If you click on manage teams, you will be able to add teams to your members to your team. So add student, add teachers, yeah. And you can add also channels, these channels. You can add the members if you just want to add a member. You can decide to leave this team. I don't want to be part of this one. You can leave it. And then you can edit it by changing the title and those all different things. Let's go into manage a team. So you see how we can manage our team. When you click on manage a team, this is where you can see you get members. And in members, there's only one member there, which me, because I created this one. My location is there. I have no other members, 0 members or guests. I can add members from here, and I'll get the same window as I get before. The other one is pending request. Pending request, as I said, you can send a code to your student to register. When they register, they will not get direct access. They will come into the pending request. So you need to come here and approve them, because maybe someone got the number from another student and he is not part of the class. You don't want him to be in. So you can decide which one to add. This is approving the pending members. Channels, here you can add channels and manage the channels and rename the channels, do whatever you want to do. Setting, which we will look at the setting, like looking at the permission that we give to the student, what type of permission they will have. This is analytics, will analyze the discussion, everything going on here. And then the last one, you may do not need it, that here you can add other apps, other applications. You link planners, you link other things. You don't need to get into that one unless you want to do. I think you look at it later after you are ready to start MicroState. Usually you don't need to do anything with the settings except adding users. But I just wanted to know there are things we need to be aware of it. Now if I click on settings, here are the settings. Some people always like changing the theme. They don't like the default theme. They always want to look at yellow, green, whatever it is. You can here change the theme and how it look like. Members permission is important. You just look at it to know what is there, and we'll come to that one. Are we enabling guests to come? This is how you mention people. Mentioning people, for example, I'm adding some discussion, and I wanted specific person to get an email about that discussion. So I need to mention him. And the default way is to put add, and then you add his name. And then once you post the message to Teams, he will get a copy, or she will get a copy by email. So to alert, okay, there's some people do not use Team every day, which I would not advise. I advise you to use Team every day. Just open it in the morning or make it default to open by default and leave it there. In this way you will be alerted and you will know what's going on. But there are some people still not doing that. So myself, when I send a message, sometimes I mention people because they're still not using Team the way. Here is where you generate that code, which you can give to your student if you need to. And there are some fun stuff here which we're not going to talk about it. Let's look at the permission. When you click on the permission, you get all this. Now, at the moment, the members are giving only 2 permissions. Give members the option to delete their message, their own message. If I posted, I'm a member of a team, and I posted message, I want to delete it, I can delete it. Maybe you don't want your student to be able to delete their message, you can disable this one, if you think. Give members the option to edit their own message. I posted a message and later I went and edited it again. Can I do that? That's the permission given to me now, or to all members in this course. Okay, the rest are here. You can look at them and you decide yourself. By default, they are not enabled. So that's it. Now, if I want to go look at the generate code, if you click on team code, you get this window. And this window just gives you some instruction saying share the code to people so people can join your team directly. You wouldn't get join request. Okay. In this case, if you want to do that, you click on generate, then it will generate. This is the code now. For this course, this is the code. So if you write it down, please, in your note, because you will need this one later to join my live class. So just keep it in there. So it's LTPSLIY. Now I can change it anytime. I can reset it after everybody joined. I can reset it, or I can remove it so no one else can join. That's option. I just come here back and remove it, which will be good. Now we'll go to the channels. You see in the channels here, I have only general channel here. You can, anywhere you see the 3 dots means you can have more options or menu. Click on it. So this is the channel I have here, which is general 1. This by default is there for every team. Most people just use the general one. But if I want to add more, I can click on add channel, and here I can need only to give the title for that channel. I called it challenging topics. In my teaching, usually I have something like this in Blackboard or somewhere, where students tell me what are the topics that they think are challenging. So I'm alerted always of where they're facing challenge, so maybe I can prepare for them more material, examples, do some more work on that one. So I just added here challenging topic, okay, and then we'll click on add. You can add a description, you can decide who will have access to it, everything, but just doing that, you can see now I have another one. So I have now general and challenging topics. You can add whatever you want to do here. Make it small number, don't grow the challenge because they will confuse students, and make it specific what that channel really will do. Because there's one challenge with this one. The files you have here attached to the channel. So if I am in the general channel, the files here will be the files of the general, not every file. And if I'm here, it will be for that. And again, the same thing, the video, everything. So make it specific and clear. Don't add so many channels that you don't need or you will not be using. Okay, making video call. Now, before switching to that, let's see what we have here in terms of your feedback. Now, going back here, your expectation, how to use Microsoft Teams, that's good, my Teams, to know how it could be a good replacement of Blackboard. I'm not trying to make it a replacement of Blackboard. Still, it's not really a replacement of Blackboard. It's complementing Blackboard, in my opinion. Learn how to use MS Teams. I'm sure Microsoft will make it one day to be that, but still not at that stage. In terms of the questions, no questions, good, okay. Easy access to the session, okay, very good. Could a student be also provided a short and simple tutorial? Yes, we're working on that one. Student will be faster than us in learning this, but we will do that. We have to do it. Could you record this session? So that, yes, I'm doing. Okay, good. On the YouTube, not that. Okay, we already answered all those. So let's go back and continue and look at how we can make a video call. Okay, so I said those components here related to the session, to the channel. If you change the channel, the things here will change. So usually I use the general to make video calls or live lecture. So if you are in the general and you click on this icon, it looks like a camera. Now my challenge, I have two cameras, but because I added this one, so this one, ignore it, it's this one. Yeah, the one beside this. Now when you click there, you get a window like this one. Now you can start the meeting directly, but I would prefer you give a name or title for that meeting, because when you record it, that name will be used for that. So you can use it to tell people what to do. So click here, I'll call it week 1 introduction, for example, and you click that. Now you have also other things here. If you want your meeting to happen every week, you can schedule that meeting. So you click on it, you get like Outlook calendar. You can put schedule, you say this occurring every Sunday from this time, that time. So it goes into the student calendar. The student will find it here. So that's a good way to do it. And this way it will be every week going on. Now you can click on and you add all the members you want them to be part of the meeting. So the scheduling will simplify things because you just do it once and you run it when the time comes to run it. And you just go to your calendar and click on the link. Now if you start a meeting, meet now, you get a window like this. Sorry, I don't look professional or handsome, but that's me. What can I do? When you get there, you will get two parts of the screen. You see this is the video where you will be there, and you will get the other side where you can add the users. Now, as I said, if you create a schedule and you add the users once, then it will be there all the time. You don't need to every time to add them. But here you can specify if you want the whole class to come, you can add them. You can select people you want to add. You have also an icon here, give you a link to this meeting, which you can send it to a student and they can click on it and attend the meeting. But here you decide who you want to meet with, and the list of all class will come here, and you can just add them to the meeting. Here there are some icons will disappear if you move the mouse away, because I did capture it now, but if I move my mouse away, they will disappear. I bring the mouse, they pop up again and come on the screen. So these are not always there. This one is for your camera. You don't want student to see your camera, for example. You can click on it, disable it. Maybe you go and do something and come back. You have a break you don't want, you do that. This is the microphone, you mute your microphone. And this one for the sharing your desktop. We'll look at it. And this gives you more options to do. So that adding users, here this is the link again, and here this is the other options. Let's look at the other options which we have. When you click on the options, you get this window, which show device settings. This is where you can see which microphone you're using, if you have multiple microphones connected, which camera you're using, if you have multiple cameras connected to your computer. You can, of course, you can have multiple cameras. And then you want to show the meeting notes. You're running live, and someone is assigned to take note of the meeting. They can take notes. Students can take their own notes as well, which will be only to their account. Others will not see it. So this is where the people will take note. Student will take note, you take note, or someone you assign in your team to take notes, then later you can publish it. This will give you a full screen. If you click on it, your meeting will fill the screen. And this is sometimes more convenient for you to do, but you need to remember, if you're going to go back to your desktop, you click escape. Blurring is a good thing. You can blur background so people will not see what in the background. So if you're sitting in a cafe or in a hotel or somewhere you don't want people to see people moving behind you or any picture, you click on blur, it will blur that background for you, which is really a very useful tool. Live captions, where we can turn it on, where people can write comments and it comes on the screen, like on TV. When you're watching the news, there are a line coming down with some information. You can do that. And the rest. And recording is the one maybe you need to look at it. Start recording. If you click on it, everybody will get an alert that you are recording the meeting. It's not a secret to others. Okay, let's look at show device. Now, if we want to make sure our audio and video is working right, you click on show device. It will show here the list of device. First one, it will show your microphone or your audio, where it's coming from, audio settings. You click on this, you will get a list if you have more than one. Computer that doesn't have, most of computer have only one, but if you are connecting your computer to another docking station or other thing, sometime you get something here. So you need to click on it and select the default one. This is the microphone. I'm using my Mac microphone here, so that's coming from Mac microphone. Speaker. This is the speaker. So I'm using the Mac speaker. Sometimes you connected a headset to it, a headphone to it, and you are not putting the headphone in your ear and you're expecting the audio to come from the computer. It will not come. If you want it to come from the computer, you need to come here and click and change it to use the computer speaker, not the headset. So these are things you get through. Microphone is the same story. And here you can test it. When you open it and you talk, it starts moving and showing you the different things. And this is the camera as well. So you have your speaker, microphone, and camera. These are the main three things which you need to adjust and make sure it's working. If you see movement, then it's working. Okay, now the next one is, I said again about the blurring screen. When I blur it, see my background, how it changed now. Before it was like this. Now, before you were able to see what I have the dot there. Now you don't see anything in the background clear, and I should stay clear on the screen. Okay. Okay. So start recording. Let's start recording. Now you are in the meeting. Now you want to share your screen. You want your student to see your screen coming live. So how you do that? As I said, this is the one you need to do. Remember, this is the one. Yeah. You click on it. When you click on it, you get this window. Now, this window is important that you look at it carefully. Look at the one that says desktop and share that one. As I said, if I show only my PowerPoint presentation, you will see my PowerPoint presentation. But during my presentation, I wanted to show you an Excel file that has data related to one slide. I open Excel on my screen, you do not see it because I'm sharing only PowerPoint. But if I share the desktop and open anything, you will be able to see it. Like now I'm switching here to Menti. You're able to see Menti. And that's how it will work. So better to share the desktop. Now if you have two screens connected to your computer and using something called extended or mirroring or whatever they call it, then you will have two desktops. You will find desktop 1 and desktop 2. You need to specify which one you use. Here I have only my laptop. I simplified life for myself. I have only my laptop, so I have one screen. I just show that one screen here. Good. So that's it. When I click on share, now this is my desktop. You can see all my icons are there because I'm showing a Mac, using Mac. And then I have my PowerPoint. I'm editing something on the PowerPoint. This came. That's from the teacher point of view. Now down here, I have the controls. This one, I can hide my camera, so student will not see me if I want. Here I can mute my microphone, If I want to, I'm talking to someone, came to office, I just muted and come back. This one I stop sharing, and this one close the meeting. Now, one mistake you will make, because I made this mistake multiple times, is that I want to stop sharing. I don't want to stop my meeting. I want to stay in the meeting, but I want just to stop sharing. And by mistake, I hit this one. This one will stop the whole meeting, and student will be disconnected, and it's again there. But if you want to stop sharing screen only, remember this is the one. It will take you some time to remember that. Do a few mistakes, then you will do it. Okay. Now, if you have others connected, their photo will start appearing here. Yeah. And you can scroll between 1 and 2. Because I have nobody connected with me, I don't see it, but we'll see it later in the live session, which we will come to it. Okay, so that's the demo of going through. The next part now, we need to go into a live Microsoft Teams. This way I'm going to stop the live streaming. Maybe you can leave the live streaming going on, leave it going on. I'll go to my Microsoft Teams, and I added that CL, what is that course which we added? Okay, it should be at the end. See how many I have? Okay, this is the course. Now I am expecting you to be here in this course. So I'll go to manage team and expected some pending. Now, no one of you have registered in the course. So now what you need to do, open your Microsoft Teams, minimize the browser, open your Microsoft Teams if you already installed it, and go there, and as we said, you need to use this number. You need this number ready, write it down on a piece of paper or somewhere, and then you write it down, then go to, did you write it down? Everybody write it down? Say in the, here if you write it down. Did you write it down? If you write it down, write here, say yes, I did write it down, if you want, or just write it down. I don't know how to send it to you. Basically, it's L, capital L, not capital, lowercase, LTPSLI. And when you write it down, you go here to Teams, and then come to this one, join or create, and then enter the number here and click join. If you do that, then I should be able to find you in my course. I'll go back here and see if any look at manage. I have one here. Okay, very good. Christopher is there, and he is a member. Very good. You are there. I don't see others. Still waiting for others to join. So basically you need to do that. But I'm sure some of you are having challenge of installing Team, and it's taking time to download it and install it. That will take some time, but once you come here, you will be here. So we'll say here, welcome. Christopher, maybe you can write something here. Welcome to Teams. Okay. I just wrote a message here, and it's there. Now, people who are watching us from outside Abu Dhabi University, you are not a member of Abu Dhabi University, you will not be able to use that code. Oh, very good. I can. Good. So just when you come there, go to the general and say anything. So I can see that you are there. Once you're there, I'll stop the streaming because I have to switch to Microsoft Teams. Okay, Alexandra is there. Very good. We're making progress. I can see the 24 on people live on YouTube. I hope I can get you all on Microsoft Teams. Then we can start doing some fun. Paulo, very good. Thank you, Paulo. And who else? Anyone comes, just add something here. Very good. It's going well, I think. I go back again here and look at here and look at the number. There are 5. Very good. So we have 5. I think we're making good progress. Yeah. See, joining using the code is very easy. You just take the code, and just for those who didn't know how to do it, you go back to Teams, and then you go to your Teams, you click on Join, and then you add the number here. Then you are in the team. I do not recommend you have all these teams like I have, because I created for every classroom in the campus team, just in case we later have issue with implementing. I am using my iPhone, great, but I can't find out how to create the code for a team. Please advise. That's difficult questions. I don't think on the phone you can do that. You can do it only on the desktop, I think. I'm not sure, but this is how we do it in the desktop. I go into Manage Teams, and then I go into Settings, and then you'll find the code. Just do it once from your computer. It's better than... Okay, very good. Oh, I'm very happy to see all of you here. Okay, that's good. And thank you really for coming on Saturday. Now, as you can see, I can now do different things. For example, if I want to make Paulo is an owner of this group. Yeah, I am the owner, but I want Paulo as the owner. I go here into the members and add him as the owner. And then he'll become one of the owners. He will appear here instead of here. Good. So I think we have 8. That's good. I'm not sure if I stop streaming or I just I'm worried about the echo, because we'll have 2 audio coming, one from Teams and one coming from the sorry, the streaming, and then they will start causing us some issue. But anyway, I think at some time when we do video, I will stop the streaming and then just focus on using Microsoft Teams. Very good. Okay. Now on the files, if you look at the files here, there is nothing in the files, but you can start creating folders if you want, a new folder, and put your file. There's only one for class material, which you can upload it and put it there, but you can add anything else into your folders there. For example, if I want to just copy this presentation, which we are doing today, into the folder. Now there are 2 ways I can do it. One is I'm sure you will like to have a copy of this presentation. Here is the thing that I should have. Okay. Now here is the presentation. So I just drag it and put it in Microsoft Teams, and now it will be uploaded. I wanted to upload it to the teaching material. No, I'm not doing that. Just I'll upload it. See, now it's being uploaded, but it will not go uploaded until, just wait for this one to come. If you're following me from, then it's there. Okay, now I posted it. Now if you go to files, if you go now to files, you will be able to find the presentation in files. So it's there now in files, and you can open it. For example, if I open it now, it will come here, and then I can present it. I can also edit it if I want on SharePoint, okay? So it's there. So this is the files. You can organize your files the way you like it. And let's now stop I think we have good numbers of people here. And then I think we're already 8, 9, we are 9. So let's go and stop the live streaming. Dr. Hani, I didn't see you there. But anyway, well, sure, who is there also? Jaber, I don't see Jaber there. Maha, no comments from you, Maha. So you're not there. Reem is not there. Okay. And those people who are coming through YouTube, maybe some of them having some challenge with connecting through this one. Now I'm going to stop the live streaming. Thank you.